So let's start with the continuation of the last part. Those who have present in this here and you are not watched the last sessions and it's available in the YouTube and yeah, it is there. Laws of motion part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, like that it is available. Okay, you can watch those who have already missed out. Okay, others can listen. Yeah, usual way. Question number 16 till 15 we have discussed and we are in question number 16. A box of mass m kilogram is placed on the rear side of an open truck, accelerating at 4 meters per second square. The coefficient of friction between the box and the surface it is 0.4. The net acceleration of the box with respect to the truck is 0. The value of m is. This is a very common question for a NEET entrance examination. Very common. Normally from the past year medical entrance examination, it is called AIPMT. Before the NEET, it is called AIPMT. From the AIPMT era itself, this type of questions are asked in a different way. I mean, the same idea. With a truck and other open truck on a open truck in the backside. A box of mass m kilogram is placed on the rear side of an open truck. Normally, for the truck, and the back side, a mass placed with the mass, the value is m kilogram on the open truck. Truck accelerates the speed. I don't know how beautifully I can draw the diagram, but let's see. So, then a truck, a speed and it is 4 meters per second square on a truck in the speed. The truck in the back side, rear side, box placed in the box in the mass m kilogram. Okay, the coefficient of frictions between the box and the surface below. The truck in the place is so this is our truck in the surface. The truck in the surface, this mass m is a rough surface. The friction value is 0.4. This is the question. So 0.4 which is given there. Now, what they have asking in the question, net acceleration. Other question always it is a major hint. Question is a major hint. Net acceleration of the box with respect to the truck is 0. In physics, majority of the questions are second last line with it. Last line, that's line and the major clues. The last two line question key point, a major hint. The answer is a major hint. So what is given there? Net acceleration of the box with respect to the truck is 0. What is the meaning of this one? Block with respect to truck. Block on m, truck in the back side open on a friction 0.4. So net acceleration of the box. We have to what I can say like what is the meaning of this? The net acceleration of the box in the speed, net acceleration of the box. A box in the speed and it is 0. For what? With respect to the truck. Truck in a compare in the acceleration 0 on it. What is the meaning of this? Truck in a compare the box in the acceleration 0 on it means box is also traveling with the same speed of truck. Truck at the speed land box and traveling. I can tell you another example. For example, suppose I am standing in the road here. I am just waiting for a bus. A bus is moving with a speed. So if you are asking what is the acceleration of bus, you will say maybe acceleration of bus equal to 10 meters per second square. What is my acceleration is equal to 0 meters per second square. I am at rest. Bus is moving with a speed of 10 meters per second square. Another case, let me take. You are now inside the bus. You are now inside the bus and bus is moving with a 10 meters per second square. Bus speed is 10 meters per second square. What is your speed? Your speed is also 10 meters per second square. Now I am asking, now you are saying bus in the speed 10 meters per second square. This is 10 meters per second square with respect to what? I can say this is with respect to ground. Ground rust and ground surface is not moving. Ground is not moving. And a ground rust and the surface ground rest with respect to ground. This is also 10 meter per second square with respect to what? This is also with respect to ground. Here in the previous case, bus alone moving. This is 10 meter per second square with respect to ground. This is 0 meter per second square with respect to ground. With respect to ground. Now I can also say one more additional information I can say. The man inside the bus is traveling with a speed of 0 meter per second square with respect to what? With respect to bus. Bus in a compare with the man in the speed, it is how much? It is 10 meter per second square with respect to ground. But with respect to bus is how much? 0 meter per second square. Why it is 0? Because bus is also traveling with 10 meter per second square. So I am inside the bus and my speed is 10 meter per second square. My speed is 10 meter per second with respect to ground. Ground in a compare with ground. One person is standing in ground and he is looking. I am moving with the speed of 10 meter per second square. But if a person is standing inside the bus and looking to me, I am not moving. Okay, so with respect to bus, my speed is 0 meter per second square, which means the difference of the speed is will always take. So a man is inside the bus, the bus in the speed of man, the speed or a speed. But with respect to bus, 0 meter per second square. Okay, a man is inside the bus, but if I'm looking from outside, the speed of the man is 10 meter per second square. Understand the difference? With respect to ground, with respect to bus. The net acceleration of the box with respect to truck is 0, which means what is the acceleration of the block? What is this acceleration of the block? This acceleration of the block is also equal to 4 meter per second square, because it is saying the acceleration of the mass with respect to truck is 0. Means truck box speed. Understood? You got the point? Now I think you can see me. Okay, you got the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, whatever I'm trying to say means block, I mean box block with the truck. Truck truck speed what can I say? The block. Block truck speed. Block truck speed. The speed of the truck with respect to the speed of the truck with respect to the mass is 4 meter per second square, and the speed of the mass with respect to truck is 4 meter per second square. 4 meter per second square the speed of the mass. Question the last sentence is important. Net acceleration of the box with respect to the truck is 0. Meaning box speed on screen 4 meter per second square. Speed on truck meaning. Understood? Okay. Now I have to explain the question. Now it is clear, right? Fine. Now I'll go back to my writing pad. So this is a case. Now I know the block is also moving with the 4 meter per second square. In two cases, what it is given? The net acceleration of the box with respect to the truck is 0, means the truck is moving with the 4 meter per second square, block is moving with the 4 meter per second. Block is moving in what direction? Block is moving in the forward direction. Forward direction, when the block is moving, there is a reverse force will be there. Reverse force means what? Reverse force, if you have listened to my lecture video, you can see one word which I have used, which is called a pseudo force. So our forward force and our forward force in opposite side always will act a reverse force, and which is called a pseudo force. Pseudo force act out. What is called a pseudo force? Whenever I am standing on a moving object, pseudo force will act. Now the object, what is the object will be here? M kilogram mass block. A block move at a speed. Okay, block move at a speed, truck in speed, because that block is resting on a moving object. Where it is sitting, we call it as frame of reference. Frame of reference. A frame of reference move frame of reference for the box in our problem it is truck. Truck move truck is moving in forward direction. Frame of reference is moving. A frame of reference move there is a force in the backward direction, and that force is called pseudo force. So pseudo force exists when the frame of reference it is moving. Then the frame of reference, when I'm taking the video lectures where you might have seen that. One is called inertial frame, another one is called non-inertial frame. Inertial frame solina a frame move avadu. Adana inertial frame. Non-inertia means moving frame. Moving frame on e case because a box irikana frame, a box irikana edam, that is the truck which is moving. So which is moving means you have a one more additional force, and that force is called pseudo force, which is acting in the opposite direction of the motion of the body. That's correct. Important point. School pseudo force word. The frame of reference is a non-inertial frame. That's the NCERT book sentence. The frame of reference. That is a non-inertial frame. That's a non-inertial frame, which means the frame of reference is moving. A box and the frame of reference. That's the question. So it is moving. So we have what is called pseudo force. Now look into this here on the board. Frame of reference box is moving in this direction. So we have a backward force, and this force is called pseudo force. FP in case. So pseudo force is equal to magnitude wise forward force in adhe magnitude. So what is the forward force? MA. Forward force to badala. Now we will write a pseudo force. That's FP. MA. What is the value of M? M is M itself. What is the value of acceleration of the block? What is the acceleration of the block? It is 4. So it is M into 4 is the backward force. Okay, that is called pseudo force. I can tell you another example. Normally, if a truck in a big box, which a truck sudden item, if the truck is moving suddenly in forward direction, what will happen? The block which is sitting on the truck will slide down in what direction? Backward direction. But truck forward movina ellame backward slide down. Adana normally once we are entering to the bus is also happening. Bus standing every passengers will enter. Bus forward all the passengers will go in what direction? Backward direction. Why it is going backward direction? Because of pseudo force. Because of pseudo force. This is Newton's third law. Every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Every action, who created the action? Bus is created the action in the forward direction, and you got a reverse action. That's why you all are falling downward when bus is taking forward. So forward is action, backward is reaction, and that reaction here it is called pseudo force. Why it is called pseudo force? Because bus is moving. You are standing on a bus. So bus is the frame of reference, and which is called a non-inertial frame. So a non-inertial frame will exhibit a pseudo force. So because of the pseudo force only, when you are entering to the bus, you are falling down when bus is taking forward direction. So here also we have the pseudo force. So in order to prevent your motion to fall down backward, what will help it? You are standing on your two legs. So you have a friction will be there. So you have a tendency to go backward. So look into the board. So what direction the pseudo force, what direction the friction will act? Friction will act against the direction of the pseudo force. So this is now my frictional force. You can see the board, right? Look into the board also in addition to looking to the video as well. So frictional force is in the forward direction, pseudo force in the backward direction. Pseudo force, it is taken very detailed in the video lectures as well, but a concept on nothing to by heart here. Physics by heart and 0% but concept on ellame concept. Pseudo force and backward, so friction opposite. What it is given? the net acceleration of the box with respect to truck is 0. That is, truck in a base the box slide on the box is at a rest position. If it is at a rest position, which means box is at 4 meters per second square, truck is at 4 meters per second square, both are not moving, both are the box is at rest in the truck. No. Okay, so this box truck in rest with respect to truck, not with respect to ground. With respect to ground, 4 meters per second square. With respect to truck, it is 0 meters per second square on the box in the speed. But truck is the rest. Truck is forward force, truck is the backward force equal. So truck is the backward force is what? Pseudo force. Truck is the forward force is what? Frictional force. What is the frictional force in the equations? Mu into normal reaction. Mu into normal reaction. Mu is called coefficient of friction. Its value will be given in the question. It is given 0.4. 0.4 substitute 0.4. What is normal reaction? If box truck the downward force mg, upward force is called normal reaction. R N. You can see in the screen. So mu into R equal to N equal to mg. And the substitute m into g. So 0.4 into m in the value is not given. G is 10. So what we'll get? We'll get 4m. We'll get it is equal to 4m, which means forward force and backward force. Both are what happened? Both are equal. So whenever both are equal, look into the screen set. Okay. So this forward force is 4 into m and the backward force is also 4 into m. So whatever the value you are giving to m, if you are giving 1, then what will happen? 4m backward, 4m forward, both are equal. If you are giving m is equal to 2, forward 8 Newton, backward 8 Newton, because 4m forward and backward 4m. And now we look into the options. So the value of m is 4 kilogram correct, 8 kilogram correct, m 9.78 kilogram correct, and fourth option, it could be any value. That is the most appropriate answer. All the 4 answers are correct, but most appropriate answer is option number 4. It could be any value. If you give any value for m, this expression or this concept holds good for any values of m. Is it clear for you? I don't know. Pseudo force. So the best example of describing the concept of pseudo force. Pseudo force and the best example of non-inertial frame. Physics one sentence we will never speak. Every word in physics will have a meaning. What is called inertia? What is called non-inertia? What is called non-inertial frame? What is called the frame of reference? I hope at least now you know the meaning of what is all this one. Any doubt for anybody? If you tell yes, definitely I will wait. I will clear your doubts. Tell me yes or no. No? Yes? No? Okay. I don't know. No or yes or no, I don't know. So then we'll go to our 7th question, right? Not 7th, 17th question. Any doubt? Boys and girls, please. No doubt? For everybody understood that? Okay. Any doubt? Just ask very freely. Okay, let's have this one here. Okay. So let me. Oops. Okay. Fine. So let's go to question number 17. What is question number 17? In the given figure below, the position time graph of a particle of mass 0.1 kilogram is shown. The impulse at a time t is equal to 2 seconds. In the figure given below, the position time graph of a particle of mass 0.1 kilogram is shown in the figure. Impulse at t is equal to 4 seconds. What is impulse? If position time graph is given, 1D motion position time graph, and what are the things we'll get? Position time graph is nothing like, I can say, xt graph. xt graph illengil st graph that's displacement. For position time graph we can find out velocity. Velocity is equal to dx by dt or ds by dt. This is called the position time graph. Second one, in acceleration also we can find out. Once we got velocity, acceleration is what? dv by dt. This many parameters I can find. So impulse, while I'm taking the theory, I told impulse will have two formulas. Impulse will have two formulas. One, impulse will be equal to force into time. Impulse equal to force into time is one of the formula. And what is the other formula for impulse? Impulse equal to, I told another formula which is called change in momentum. Impulse equal to change in momentum. Change in momentum means what? Mass into final velocity minus initial velocity. And again we can write m into vf minus m into vi. So this is equal to final momentum pf minus pi. That is the concept. So we need to get it. So what is given in the question? Impulse at t is equal to 2 seconds. So if you look into the graph, see this is a graph. At t is equal to 2 seconds. Time at t is equal to 2 seconds. From there onwards, graph is a straight line. Graph is a straight line. Graph is a straight line means position is fixed. Position is not changing. If position is not changing, so what is the value it will be here? V final velocity 0. From t is equal to 2 seconds onwards, it is not at all moving. From t is equal to 2 seconds onwards. But from 0 to 2, it is moving. So it has some initial velocity. 0 to 2, adinte position ingane change avunnundu. So position graph in slope unde. V is equal to dx by dt. That's the slope. Our slope is now we have velocity. So we are going to find out the initial velocity first. What is the initial velocity? It is dx by dt. X in the difference 0 to 2 seconds. X in the change, X on y axis. That's change 0 to 4. So 4 on and the values were another. Then what is the value of time? Time will be equal to 2. So 4 by 2, it is 2 meters per second. That's the velocity of the value. Any mass is also given. Now we can find out the impulse equal to F into T equations we can't use because force is not given, time is not given. Second equation, change in momentum. Yes, I can use change in momentum because mass is given, final velocity I find out, and initial velocity also I found out. Now I can just substitute. Mass will be equal to 0.1, final velocity is 0, initial velocity 2. So how much is the answers will be coming? It is 0.2. Mass into velocity, that's in the unit. So kilogram is mass, mass into velocity, kilogram meter per second. That is a negative sign. So minus 0.2 kilogram meter per second. What is the minus sign indicate? Force is in the opposite direction. Movement in the opposite direction force. That's the meaning. So here the correct answer is option number 2. If you look into option number 1 and 2, you can see only the sign is different. Only the sign is different. So the concept is important to understand the problem. Is it clear for everybody? 2 questions, lot of concepts. Okay, especially the first question, a lot of things we have learned, many steps. We'll go to the next question, question number 18. I hope you have no doubt. If you have any doubt, please come back to me. A block of mass 2 kilograms is placed in equilibrium on a moving plank, accelerating with an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. Coefficient of frictions between the plank and the block is 0.2. Then the frictional force acting on the block is. As I told, a block of mass 2 kilograms is placed in equilibrium on a moving plank. The plank means you can just consider like this one. This is a like a cart-like structure, and you have placed a block over here which is moving 2 kilograms. This block is moving with an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. Question is giving the 2 kilogram is in equilibrium. If 2 kilogram is in equilibrium, means 2 kilogram is not sliding down. So what is the acceleration of 2 kilogram is also, it is 1 meter per second. Now I have a questions to you, whether it is an inertial frame or it is a non-inertial frame. Can you tell me? This is a inertia means rest on. This is a frame of reference. Frame of reference means where the block is sitting. The block is sitting on the plank. In the plank. This is also called a cart. All names will be there corrected. A cart is also moving, and the cart is also moving. So this is called a non-inertial frame. Non-inertial frame. Non-inertial frame is backward directional force. What is that force is called? Pseudo force. FP. Pseudo force is equal to MA. What is M? It is 2 kilogram. Speed is what? 1 meter per second square. So pseudo force in the backward direction is 2. So backward direction pseudo force in the opposite item. Pseudo force and it is trying to move backward. Upon the opposite force, what is that force is called? Frictional force. Frictional force equal to mu into N. N equal to what? In this case, block will have a weight mg and reactions upward R. Okay. So this will be equal to mg into mu. Mg into mu. Now I am just representing the block alone. For here we have a pseudo force Fp in this direction, and which is equal to Q Newton, and we have additionally a frictional force which is called mu mg. Mu in the value given in the question. What it is? 0.2. I'll just use that value here. 0.2 into 2 kilogram into 10. 0.2 10 into 4. Okay. Now I got the frictional force in the value 4 on it. Pseudo force in the value is how much? 2 Newton on it. So I got this one. Okay. Now what you will do once you get the answer, you will mark this one. But this is a wrong answer. Why it is a wrong answer? Listen very carefully over here. I got the frictional force equal to 4 Newton and pseudo force equal to 2 Newton. What is the meaning of this one? Means backward force and a pseudo force. A pseudo force is 2 Newton. This force equal to 4 Newton. This 4 Newton is meaning 4 Newton is the maximum frictional force a surface can offer. But maximum 4 Newton on a surface can provide. But backward force, it's how much? It's just 2 Newton. 2 Newton compensate. I don't want to give my maximum frictional force. I need to give only 2 Newton out of 4 Newton. I need to give only 2 Newton out of 4 Newton. So 2 Newton, 4 Newton a surface to force, that surface can give force. But I don't want to give 4 Newton. Why? Because front back force just 2 Newton. 2 Newton cancel backward forward friction force 2 Newton is required. I can give 0 Newton, 1 Newton, 2 Newton, 3 Newton, 4 Newton. 4 Newton is a maximum I can give. But here, how much it is required? Only 2 is required. Okay, so the answer to the question is 2 Newton. I can tell you another example to make the concept very clear. Suppose a block is moving in the forward direction. Just assume, just an example, not with respect to this question, an example. A block is moving with a speed of 100 Newton, forward 100 Newton speed. We calculated the friction. F is equal to mu mg. Used it, we calculated. Mg is equal to N, a normal reaction. Calculated I got the value 150. Now I am asking, what is the frictional force here? I will say not 150. I have to say how much? 100. Because 100 on forward. Backward nullify. The movement restrict. 100 itself it is enough. Why I want to waste extra 50 Newton? Not required. Suppose my force instead of 100, my force will be equal to 120 Newton. Then what is my frictional force? My frictional force now will be equal to 120 Newton. You have to answer 120 Newton. Now instead of 120, I am giving 140 Newton. Now I am asking what is your frictional force? You have to say it is 140 Newton. Now instead of 140 Newton, I am giving 180 Newton. Now what is the frictional force value? Frictional force is now not 180. Frictional force is the maximum value 150 on it. So I have to give 150. Now, instead of giving 180 Newton, I am giving 2000 Newton force. So what is now the frictional force? Frictional force is now 150. 150 cross is 150. 150 is the maximum offer. So frictional force value, it is not fixed. It can vary. Adana NCERT book, if you are looking to an NCERT textbook, there is a beautiful diagram will be there. What is the diagram? Our diagram graph diagram. Diagram. Frictional force and the value. This frictional force value will be vary, and the maximum value of the frictional force is the static friction. Adukappuram body move up with the frictions coming out. That is called the kinetic friction. So friction is not fixed. Understood for everybody? This is a diagram from the NCERT textbook. I am only sticking to NCERT, not going even a single sentence beyond this. Everybody clear with this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any doubt you have?
No, sir.
I don't want to discuss much anything. But core problem, lot of concepts. Yeah. For problem 16, 17, 18, three problems three problems I discussed like this. Three problems, 16, 17, 18. But three problem, lot of concept, inertial frame, non-inertial frame, frame of reference, frictional force in the value, vary in a cases. Then what happened in the previous case, impulse in the equations, F into TA, change of momentum, what situation we have to use which formula. So like 30% of the chapter which is covered within 3 questions. So for all of you it is clear? I hope it is clear, and any doubts, so please come back to me. Okay, I'm stopping here. I don't have no more question for today's session. We'll see in the next session.